Welcome to this first Mr. Butler Maths video. Today we're looking at multiplying decimals. So let's start by looking at this question, 0.4 times 0.2. Now there are lots of different ways people have a go at this question, but often my students make a mistake with the place value where the decimal point is. That's why I've thought about this new method, or a different method, that can avoid such a mistake. Our first stage is to convert both decimals to fractions. Now, there are many different equivalent fractions that we could convert into, but in this case, we always want our denominator, the bottom number, to be 10, 100, 1000, basically any power of 10. So, 0.4 is equal to 4, that's our numerator, over 10, our denominator. Similarly, 0.2 is equal to 2, that's our numerator, over 10. 10 is our denominator. Now, if we think back to our original question, 0.4 times 0.2, we want to be multiplying. So we've changed from decimals to fractions, but we still have to multiply them. When we multiply fractions, our new numerator will be our top times our top, and our new denominator will be the bottom times the bottom. So 4 times 2 gives us 8, and 10 times 10 gives us 100. So our new fraction, once we've multiplied together, will be 8 over 100. However, we're not done yet. The question we started with was in terms of decimals, so we need to convert back to decimals. Stage 3 is this conversion process. We need to convert back to decimal. So we have our fraction 8 over 100, and in a similar way to stage 1, but going backwards, we need to convert this back to a decimal. Because our denominator is 100, that means it has 2 zeros. So we need to move our decimal place 2 times. 8 over 100 is going to be smaller than 8. Therefore, we have to move the decimal place to the left. Another way to think about this is keeping the decimal place in the same place and moving the digits to the right. So our answer, 0.4 times 0.2, is 0.08. I'm now going to talk through two new examples that are very similar to the ones we've just looked at, but slightly different, so you can see how this method applies in more contexts. So let's start with the question 0.04 times 0.2. Now, stage 1 is to convert each decimal to a fraction. 0.04 is equal to 4 over 100. It's over 100 because there are 2 numbers after the decimal place, so there are 2 zeros in our denominator. 0.2, same as before, is 2 over 10. 1 zero in our denominator, therefore 1 digit after the decimal place. Our second stage is to multiply the fractions. This time, instead of 4 over 10, it is 4 over 100, slightly different. So 4 over 100 times 2 over 10 will give us a fraction with 4 times 2 as the numerator and 100 times 10 as the denominator. So this will be equal to 8 over 1000. Our final stage, stage 3, is to convert back to decimals. Our numerator is going to be 8, our denominator is going to be 1000. 3 zeros in that denominator, 3 digits after the decimal place. Let's now look at another example. 1.4 times 0.2, again, in many ways very similar to the previous two. No surprises, we're going to work through this exactly the same way as we've worked through the previous two. Stage 1, convert the decimals to fractions. 1.4 is equal to 14 over 10 this time. We have 1 digit after the decimal place, so there is 1 zero in our denominator, and 14 is our numerator as a result. And 0.2 is equal to 2 over 10. That decimal and fraction has not changed since the first example. Stage 2 is again multiply fractions. 14 times 2 gives us 28 as our numerator. 10 times 10 gives us 100 as our denominator. So our fraction, after we've multiplied, is 28 over 100. Stage 3, converting back to decimals. 28 over 100. 2 zeros in the denominator, therefore 2 digits after the decimal place, 0.28. That's all for this first video. I'm probably going to make some more of these while everybody's in lockdown. And if you'd like to stay up to date and see new videos that I post, don't forget that you can subscribe to the channel. Thanks guys.